Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video. This is a paid request for Phil. Thank you so much for that. For those interested in requesting any type of videos, topic, random thoughts, reactions, commentaries, tier list rankings, video game playthrough, movie review, re-review, whatever the case may be, you can send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Do have a CashApp as well. And I'll get to it as soon as I can. For those who send it, thank you. I really appreciate it. So this is for Phil. One of my thoughts on At Eternity's End, a 2018 film starring Willem Dafoe. Willem Dafoe is a fantastic actor. I mean, yes, at times he can camp it up in films like Speed 2, even Spider-Man. I know people love his performance. I do think it's rather campy. Some like that. To me, I'm like, I don't know. But from Platoon to... I'm trying to think what my favorite performance of his would be. I don't know. I'd have to look it up. He's done a lot of good work. Now, he plays the painter Vincent van Gogh. And he does do a great job. He's the one aspect I would say deserves a lot of praise. He's very emotional, and you tell he's a guy who kind of broken down, beaten down, as in he loves his work as a painter. And it seems like he can never quite be like happy, or he doesn't think he's good enough, or if someone praises him, oh, you don't really mean that. Like his brother praises him at one point, he's oh, you don't really mean that. He loves hanging out with this other painter, Paul Gauguin, played by Oscar Isaac, who was Poe in Star Wars The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi and etc. I don't know how long this review will be, because if I think about it, there's not a whole lot to talk about with this film, honestly. Because it's about, I don't know if I want to say the last days, but the last portion of Vincent van Gogh's life. Because a good part of the film is him being sad, and then he goes paint, and he paints some more, and he paints some more. He'll talk to someone, or really this lady starts talking to him about what book he's reading, because the girl won't mind her own damn business. Fucking Miss Nosy. What are you reading there? I'm just reading. You know. What is it? Why do you like to read, he's reading Shakespeare, and she's wanting to know what that's like. And it's like, well, the way he talks, sometimes it's a bit confusing, but I like it that way. And then she's like, well, why do you like that? Sometimes I like reading stories in the paper, and I like sad stories. I don't give a shit about your life. That's what Willem Dafoe's character, Vincent van Gogh's like, Lee, I don't give a shit about your life unless I'm painting you naked with your titties out. I don't care what your life is. I'm not here for your life story. I just want to read my book. A little book that's like 2 inches long. This little book, I just want to read. See how poor I am? I can't even afford a big book. I gotta afford a book this big. My thumb is bigger than this book. I can only afford that. So unless you're going to give me some money or some dick, because I don't know, maybe you may be, I don't know. Sometimes with these, is it a guy, is it a girl? I don't know. Could be the crying game. At least that would be a twist. Or, give me some poontang or something and sit on my face or sit on my dick or both or one after the other and leave me alone with my 1-inch book. Just believe me, it's the only thing 1 inch. Because this ain't 1 inch and that ain't 1 inch. So leave me alone. So I don't know what it is. This girl, just how nosy she is. Like, leave him the hell alone, lady. Shit. But anyway. But yeah, just him kind of pontificating, being sad, head hung down, goes to paint. Some interesting shots of, like, POV shots, where we see from his perspective, where he's, like, going through nature, or he's going through, like, these dead flowers, and, once in a while you have this little POV. At one point, he's painting these roots. And these kids, they didn't bother him. And even the teacher bothers him, and she's like, man, look what anybody could be a painter, huh? So, someone who draws this and they call themselves a painter? So the teacher's giving him shit. I you see why Willem Dafoe, grabs one kid who's touching his painting and tells him to fuck off. And the teacher's like, you're crazy. I'm like, you're a cunt. I know I'm not supposed to say that, but she deserves it. She's a see you next Tuesday. I mean, what is it with the bitch? These beaches. Beaches, the beaches. I love women, but the people in this is like beaches. Like the one woman who can't get her nose out of her business. The teacher is a bitch. The kids who are brats, and the teachers should learn how to control her students. I'm going to take this and I'm going to slap them across the face. Hey, yes, it's a fly swatter, because it might not be technically summer, but once all you have a fly in there, and I'm going to be ready. Just like, and that's what the kids should, each kid get one of these. Each kid in the face for being such a brat. Leave me alone. He wants to paint his roots. Only gives you roots, so you don't see the roots of these fists. Here's the root. 5 across the eyes. But, like, not a whole lot happens. It's him sad, or he's painting. Or he talks with his brother, sad, painting. He talks with the guy he admires, Oscar Isaac's character. He's sad, he's painting. The kids bug him, he's sad, he's painting. At one point, the guy he admires is leaving. He can't handle it. So he cuts his ear off, but we see that off screen. We just hear about it, and then he's bandaged, and he's in psychiatric evaluation. And then there's this priest that talks to him. I think it's Mads Mikkelsen, who's been in other movies. I think he was in one of the James Bond films. I can't remember. Which James Bond was it? Oh, well, okay, it was Casino Royale. I wanted to make sure. Yeah, Casino Royale. That's what I thought, but I wanted to make sure. You know, he plays the priest that tries to give him some advice. He was on the TV show Hannibal. He was in a few other movies here and there. Quite a few. And then it ends with spoilers. He's out. He talks to his brother. His brother says he's doing a good job. Willem Dafoe doesn't really believe in it. He's off somewhere else painting, and then these kids that I barely remember getting a lot of screen time with. At least I don't remember. There might have been, but I don't remember a whole lot. They're kind of roughhousing with him. They accidentally shoot him. But it's all done where there's like not much of it. There's no sound. Like, it's just kind of, they're tumbling and roughing around with each other. And then you see Willem Dafoe walking. And he had maybe a little bit of narration. And then like the kids, they throw the gun in the water. They bury Willem Dafoe's painting. He kind of lies down. I guess apparently Vincent van Gogh, he died fairly early in age, like in his 30s. And people thought it was self-inflicted. But I guess some people also think maybe something like this happened where he got wounded, but he didn't want the kids in trouble, and he was so out of it that he kind of just accepted his fate. And apparently 30 hours later, he died of that wound. But I know people got a lot of praise, but I'm watching this going, I didn't really learn much about Vincent van Gogh in this. I learned that he was sad, but I didn't really get why he was so sad. I mean, he's a guy that obviously didn't believe in he loved what he was doing, but Seemed like he didn't think he was good enough. At least that's what I interpreted out of it. Because didn't people try to give him... His brother tried to give him praise. Oh, you're just saying that. But, I don't know, it just... It didn't say there was anything else going on with the movie. Like, I pretty much told you the entire film, and this film's almost like 2 hours long. And I just wasn't into this movie. It's not my kind of movie. It's not my kind of film. It's not because I'm against dramas. Recently I saw Ordinary People for the first time with Donald Sutherland, directed by Robert Redford. That's a request coming up. I quite enjoyed that film. I thought that was a good story. I just didn't feel much story from this movie. It's kind of, he's sad, he paints, he's sad, he paints. But the other characters, I didn't really find much to hone in on. Willem Dafoe, he's sad and he cries a lot and he'll narrate, but even with all that, I'm sure people got a lot more of his character than I did. Other than he was a sad soul and then he died. I just didn't find much in terms of... Maybe it's just a subject matter that I'm not intrigued by. A story that I didn't feel invested in. And at the end of the day, I just didn't care. Just really didn't care about what was going on. And when I think like Willem Dafoe, because I looked at his filmography, I like To Live and Die in L.A. I like Platoon. I liked The Last Temptation of Christ. Mississippi Burning, fairly good film. Born on the 4th of July. I liked that film. Finally, Flight to the Intruder was there. Clear and Present Danger, I really enjoy. American Psycho, that's a rather good one. I did like his performance in Shadow of the Vampire. Finding Nemo. Inside Man, I forgot he was in that. I did like that movie. Daybreakers, I didn't mind that film. Odd Thomas, the other film I did not mind for what it was. The first John Wick. Death Note. I forgot he was the voice of that character, Death Note. I forgot about that. And that's a film that people hated. I liked Death Note. Maybe because I didn't watch much of the anime. I did like Death Note. Let's see. Inside I saw a while ago. I liked his performance in that. I wasn't gung-ho about the movie. Although I'd probably say I could watch that over this. Poor Things I was not a fan of at all. I'd rather watch this than Poor Things. He's in the new Beetlejuice. He's in the new Nosferatu movie. But there are a decent amount of films I've liked him in. So, take that for what you will. I'm sorry it's not much of a review, but I'm kind of looking at this film going, Dafoe did a good job, but I just think the story, there just wasn't really much of a story there, in my opinion. I mean, it's nice to see Willem Dafoe and a nice acting job from him, so I'm glad I saw it once. But just telling the last moments of Vincent Van Gogh's life, I didn't really get a good feeling of his backstory, of his childhood, of what maybe all the steps that built up to lead him to this state. Because when we first see him, he's in this kind of state, being kind of like sad, depressed, and he's already there. So it'd be nice to see like maybe a build-up of going to that, and whatever the case may be. And I don't know, like there. I mean, there are movies about not the last day, not the last day of someone's death, but like you see him in one certain, like Bill Murray in Lost in Translation. You see a guy that kind of goes from bar to party and kind of where he is in this land that he's not familiar with, and you see him kind of a love story, but even that felt like it had a bit more going into it and a story I was more intrigued by. And that's another film I like. I don't know why that film popped in my head, just randomly, but if you watch the trailer, you looked up the movie, if it interests you, feel free. And if you like the film, that's fine. At least now you know because you saw the title of this video, and maybe you'll find another film that you enjoy and add it into your collection. Just to me, yeah, unless you're just, I love Willem Dafoe, you want to see anything with Willem Dafoe in it, or you're really intrigued of Vincent Van Gogh and their interpretation of it in his last, I don't know, year, however long this time period was, feel free. But to me, this just wasn't my cup of tea. So with that said, thanks for watching, take care, and we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye for now.